In this video, we're going to take a look at authentication. So, authentication is a process of determining whether or not information originates from a valid source or a valid user. It's also the act of determining what an application or a user can actually do on a system, and usually it's determined as user access rights, like can this user open this file at this time. So we've got ways of authenticating, so it could be knowledge, it's something you know, like a password, something you have, like a key card, something that you are, so like your iris scan or biometrics, locations, so somewhere where you are, and behaviour is something that you do, like a keystroke or a pattern. These are all different ways that we can check that someone is the right person, so logging onto a computer system or ensuring that they're doing the right thing for their job and things like that. So the most common is just an authentication technique such as usernames and passwords. So it's the least secure because people have to actually create their password. It's quite easy to predict passwords because most people's passwords are based on something they like or something they are used to or use for a long time. So a lot of, especially because most people don't think of a word, words are in a dictionary, you can have a program that goes through every word in the dictionary and finds out a password. However, it is the most user-friendly and easiest way of authenticating somebody. It's just by saying, what's your username, what's your password, sorted. So there was a little bit of a data set of 10 million people, and the top passwords were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, password, quet, dragon, monkey, let me in, and dragon came up twice. I think it was dragon 1 was a bit of a change. So not the most secure of passwords. So even something as simple as adding a number can improve your security. So if your password was kittens, it'd be weak. Kittens 99 is okay, but then if you sort of add some symbols and a combination of lowercase and uppercase, it can make your password much better. So if you get asked a question in an exam, if you say a strong password should have 8 characters, should not have your name, organization name, or user ID, shouldn't have a complete word, it should be different from your previous passwords. Instead of just doing the same password but then putting a different number at the end, it should be different. It should have upper, lowercase, numbers and symbols, but in real life, to get a good password, you need some really sort of, strange words, or pick like a limerick or a sentence and then change some letters to numbers, add some punctuation, and then sort of go from there. So you could do something like Jack and Jill went up the hill. Instead of writing Jack and Jill, you could do JAJWUTH and add some numbers and letters in there to make it a little bit more difficult. Something like that is a good password because that's not going to be able to keep you cracked as easy. Now your next way is biometrics. So this is a concept of using something that the user has. So it could be their face, it could be their fingerprint, it could be their iris, and you can use that and use sensors to capture those credentials, and then that means they can log in. So a lot of banking apps use that now. Some schools and some places use fingerprint scanners to get you in. You think about your passports now. You've got facial recognition, Face ID, to check that you're the real person. So it's becoming a lot more standard now to use biometrics because they're much more difficult to fake and change. Then you've got two-factor authentication. So this is an answer to the weaknesses of a password. So it can either be knowing your password, then having a device, or it might be your phone. It could be like sometimes you get little dongles for your key rings that you can press and that generates an ID. And then it could be also something that you are as well, like your fingerprint or your iris. So one thing, you could log into your website, log in, you get a code to your phone, you type in your one-time code, and then you go ahead and log in, and then you can log into your banking. I know for my banking, I've got to generate a code every single time. So that means that if someone gets my username and password, they still can't get on unless they've got my phone. And to get onto my phone app, you also have to have my fingerprint. So that's username and password, one-time code, and biometrics. That's essentially 3 different types of authentication just to get onto my bank account. Now, some benefits and drawbacks. So the benefit of two-factor is that we don't need to, rely on just having those passwords. We can, if we're trying to, stay nice and secure, people can use the same password and just change a number and something at the end. Another good thing is that if you are using a one-time code, they usually last for a minute. So if someone does manage to intercept it and use it, they're probably not going to be able to get on because it'll be too late. They'll have to do it again, and there's just too much time delay between them getting that code and then using it. However, the problem is if you lose your phone, or if you, if you're using a fingerprint scanner and you get a disfigurement and you lose your arm, then that's going to be really, really difficult to get around. And it adds some, to the stress of getting your new credentials. To ring up, verify your identity, and that can get really, really long-winded, especially because a lot of places aren't giving information out as easily because of social engineering attacks. So, 2 exam questions there, 1 mark and a 3 mark. So name 1 method of securing a device other than a login and a password, and name 3 elements of a strong password. So that's 4 marks in total. It'll take you 4 minutes, so pause the video and give that an answer. Okay, some answers. So 2-factor authentication or biometrics, and then more than 8 characters, numbers, symbols, upper and lowercase letters. Okay, and thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe the video, and I will see you in the next one.